So getting into our new writer guidelines, we're going to start with creating a WordPress account. So all you have to do here is go to wordpress.com and go up here to the Get Started tab. So they're going to give you the option to start with a blog, start with a website. You can just go easy, start with a blog. You can pick any theme because it doesn't really matter at this point. Enter a name. So we're going to give it a name, example, Global Millennial blog. You click the free option. You just want to go with the free option here. So you enter your email address, choose a password, and then they're going to give you a prompt screen here. So we're ready to get started. So this is basically your blog. They're going to give you a quick little tutorial here. If you want to start your own blog to put your own posts on, that's great, but this is basically all we need at this point. They already let us know what our username is. If you want to see what your username is, you go to people, and this would be your username here. So mine is example TGM for the Global Millennial, and this is basically the username that you're going to send to me. So then you go to Outlook or whatever email service provider that you're using. All you want to do is send this, davidmcdonald@globalmillennial.org. And this is where I'd like you to send some of your information. You can send any social media links. You would attach an image, a bio of yourself, preferably several sentences saying who you are, what you do, what you're interested in, what your accomplishments are, and then some social media. So your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Twitter, etc. Right? You can send everything in with this email. So at this point, if you go back into your email, you should be getting an email back from me to set your password for the Global Millennial. So you click the link that is sent to you in the email, and they'll give you an example password. You copy and paste that password and you put it in, and that's your password to get into the website. So once you're in the dashboard, this is basically everything you're going to see. So you're going to see some of what's going on the website. We currently have 100 posts. You're going to see all that. But what you're going to want to do here is go to posts, and you're going to go to add new. Okay, so here's your page uploading platform. So there's a lot of resources here to do basically anything you could ever want to do with a post. You could do your visual editor, text editor to add code. I never use that. Or you can use Page Builder, which I love to use. So I'm going to quickly show you how to use Page Builder. You could add a widget, a row, or a pre-built layout, okay? I don't necessarily go with the pre-built layouts. I tend to just go with a row, okay? You go up here and you can set the row layout. So 2 means it's split in half, 3 means it's split in thirds, and so on. For starters, I'm just going to go 1 because I want to put an image at the top of my article. I'm going to add another row, and I'm going to split it into thirds, which is what I usually do for most of my articles, and I click 60. That's kind of what I like, so that my text, I'm going to put my text in the middle block here, and I don't want it to span the whole width of the page to make it easier to read. So the next thing that we do from here is we can right click on the row, and we can add a widget, or we can add a couple pre-built ones here. Now, there is a huge selection of widgets that you can add. You just go up, you click on the row that you want to add the widget to, you click add widget, and there's a ton of stuff that you can go. You can put a map in, custom menus, anything really. Custom popular posts. You could put your own posts that you previously published on the Global Millennial into your posts so that when people read your work, they'll be tempted to go and read more of your articles. So for now, I'm just going to close that. I'm just going to keep it simple. These are the main 3 that you're going to use. I'm going to do site origin image. If you want to add an image, you click edit, and then you go up here to choose media. So you're going to be prompted to a media library that has a bunch of pictures, but normally you're going to want to upload a file. So you can go to select files and you can do anything. This is a picture of the house that I'm living at this year. So you click on it from your computer and it adds the image. Now here's really interesting. You don't necessarily have to do a title or a caption, you can, but what you want to focus on is the alt text. What this means is when you search in Google a specific search and Google directs you to images, alt text is what makes an image show up in that search. So let me kind of make more sense of this. So if I am directed to Google and I do, here's my favorite football player, Tom Brady, and you click images, we have pictures of Tom Brady, right? The reason that this shows up is because there's an alt text here that has Tom Brady in it, okay? If we go back to our new post, alt text, if I were to say living room, right? Because it's a picture of a living room. When someone searches up living room, this is going to show up in Google. Now, it's not going to show up on the first page. It's going to show up way, way, way down below. But if you write a good article that gets a lot of views, it could show up in one of the top pages in images. So you really want to add an alt text there. So you click set media, and here's some more formats that you can play around with. I tend to leave image size on full. Image alignment, I always do center. Title text, I don't usually mess with that. Title position, don't mess with that. Alt text again, just in case it didn't show up before. You can either play with bound or full width. I like to do full width, makes the image look a bit nicer. You can click done. Now the next tab here is just where we put our text. Now you can break this up a lot, you can play around with different formats and that and really make each article look amazing. So here, if you want to add text, you click on Site Origin Editor after a right click. You click edit and it will prompt you to a writing screen, similar to the one that we saw before. So here you can add your text. We use Georgia font, so you just keep that like that. We tend to use 18-point font to make the font bigger and look better. There you go. You can add images in here as well. You go insert media or add media. This is our media library. We can add another cool image. And we got Mr. Trump there. We'll add him in there. You can format it here by clicking on the image. You can align it right, align it left, align center. Now here's another thing you want to remember. If you are using the page builder, you want to go into design here. You don't necessarily want to mess with any of that, but you want to go down to the bottom, and if you have any inline links, you want to click on it and you want to put it to red, okay? So it matches the rest of the links on the website. You can click done, and that's basically how you do it. If you want to add more rows, you add another row. If we want to add another big picture, we can do that. You can right click it, site origin image, and you can keep going. And you can really make your articles look great with this. So now moving on to the right area here, post layout. There's two layouts that we play with. We do right sidebar or full width. Depending on your preferences, depending on how you want your article to look, it really is up to you. For this one, because we used the page builder plugin, I'm going to go with full width here. One signal push notifications. When your post gets published, there is a notification that gets sent out to all the subscribers to the website to make sure as many people as possible are seeing your article. So this is basically your goal for how you want to structure your articles. If we want to make things simpler, we can simply revert to editor. We can go visual, get rid of all of this, and this is a much easier way of doing things. Go into a Word document or wherever you have one of your articles sitting elsewhere, and you can simply copy and paste it if you want it to be a quicker and easier way of publishing. So you can go here, you can copy, add new post, and you can paste it. Now you may notice that the image didn't show up. This is perfectly normal. Sometimes images don't transfer over. So what you want to do here is you want to be able to save this image. So wherever you found it on Google, you want to save it, and then you simply just want to go back here, you want to go add media, upload files, or from the library, and then you want to add image. So an image like this, we would align center. Again, you can click preview, and there you have it. That will be your article. Now the next thing I want to go into is your author bio. I haven't added a bio yet or anything, or a profile picture, but this is basically the purpose for doing it. When people read your articles, they're going to see at the bottom of it who wrote it, and they want to be able to click on your name and be directed back to your blog. If you put your blog URL in your bio, people will be directed back to your work or your social media links. So here's how we do this. You go down here and you click your profile. And this is how you basically edit your profile. You don't want to mess around with this. We want everyone's profile with the same format. This is where you can change your first name, your last name, your nickname, everything, your email, your website. Because I haven't set up my website, it just directed us to WordPress.com. You can put in your social media links, your Google+, your Twitter, your Facebook. If you have a LinkedIn, you can put it down here in your biographical info. So job title, just for the sake of this, writer, company, Global Millennial, globalmillennial.org. And so that's how you fill out the bio for yourself. So going up here, you also want to upload a picture of yourself. And then you go and click upload, and you should see your picture there with your bio. So you can play around with that. You also have a Gravatar profile picture that you can go into Gravatar and you can change that way. So you just simply sign in with your WordPress.com account on that, and then you click update profile. If we go back to our posts here, you can click on all posts, and you can go in, you can edit, you can quick edit, you can preview. So we're going to go here and preview. And again, we have our posts here. Even after you submit your post for pending review, you can go in after it's published, you can make changes to it, you can tweak it, you can fix any grammatical errors. That option is always open. But if we scroll down to the bottom here, you'll be able to see your author bio here. So we have our example bio. You can put your links in there. Your links, if you do have them, they would be under there as well. And then readers can also click on latest posts, and you can go to see all. This will basically direct readers to an archive of your blog posts. If you look over at the right here under publish future posts immediately, you'll see readability and SEO. Readability basically never changes from needs improvement, so I wouldn't worry about that, but we can still focus on SEO. So here it says needs improvement. Well, here's how you improve on this. If we go back into here into our SEO area and we click on edit snippet, we have our SEO title, which we basically never change. We have our slug, which is the same as the focus keyword, and we have a meta description, which is the description that shows up in the Google search. It's the description of the article itself. So we have example post in our title, we have example post in the slug, we have example post in the meta description. This is great, but there's still two more things we need to do. If you look over here to tags, this is another way for Google to organize your articles. So obviously, we organize it like that. So you can organize it into one word or multiple words. This is another way to help Google organize your articles. Now, for our website, we focus on politics and economics, right? So a lot of the popular tags that I put in my articles are, and basically any key terms that are very popular in search terms. So Donald Trump, okay? There's still one more thing we can do, however. If we go back into our site origin editor and we go here, we want to capitalize on H2 and H3 tags. This is another way for Google to sort out your preferred keyword so that they can organize their algorithm to show users exactly what they're searching for. So how to do this is you go here to the paragraph section and you drop down. So a heading 1 is basically a title, a heading 2, subparagraph, and so on. Now, if you're just writing regularly, you just keep it in paragraph. But it's essential that we have in at least a heading 1 or a heading 2 or a heading 3 our focus keyword, which as we know it is example post. Whatever your focus keyword is, here's an example of one. Donald Trump, that's a great keyword, okay? A lot of people are searching up Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. And if you have Donald Trump in an H1 format, in the title, in the tags, in the slug, the meta description, and as your focus keyword, it makes it much more likely for people to stumble across your keyword. If you really want to hone in on a specific audience, there's a thing that we call long tail keywords. So instead of our focus keyword being only 1 or 2 words, we can make it a sentence. An example of a long tail keyword that a lot of people are searching that still relates back to our website would be how to learn introductory microeconomics. Think about it. Every year there's thousands upon thousands of university students enrolling in school who are for the most part taking introductory economics courses. So what's next? You have all these great ideas on what to write about. You start writing, but a couple weeks later, you hit a writer's block. A question I always get is, how do I come up with ideas on what to write about? So it's obviously hard to consistently write without hitting the inevitable writer's block, but trust me guys, I have you covered. I use a few resources to help me come up with ideas on what to write about. These are Quora, Google Trends, major news publications, and social media. I basically scour the internet for any interesting news or interesting topics that I may want to write about, and then I write about it. Jumping into Quora first, this is a great platform to see what people are interested in right now. So I have a couple areas in which I'm interested in. I really love writing about economics, so I'll go here and I'll click on economics. And basically I scroll down and I see what people are asking. Now, there are a lot of people asking questions and there are a lot of people following these great questions. The key here is to find a question that a lot of people are following. Sometimes you'll find 7, sometimes you'll find 700. If there's a lot of people following a question, it's a good indication that that is a good topic to write about. Quora, it's really great for me because you're not just writing on a screen, you're actually writing to a specific person. It's actually someone asking a question and you're writing to that specific person, which for me makes it a lot easier to actually write blog articles. So that's one platform. The next source I like to go to is major news publications. So my favorite is the New York Times. They are one of my favorite news publications. I love their website. I love the stories that they cover. And you can just scroll through their front page and get bombarded with all this information. Great website, and there are hundreds of amazing news publications that you can look on to get some inspiration for new article ideas. So I would definitely consider that as well. And finally, social media sites. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, whatever is trending right now is going to be on these sites. I love Reddit because you can really streamline your search. If you want to write about economics, you can go to an economics subreddit and you can see what's trending right now. To expand on the keyword topic that I was talking about earlier, Google Trends is amazing for this. So right here I'm in Google Trends Canada. I'm looking in all categories. I like to go to business, and you have a lot of different things that are being searched here. Now you can look for the specific country that you're in if you want to target Canadians, but what I usually do is go to United States because there's a lot more search terms happening in the United States. You can even go further. You can say United States business. So you basically find something that you'd be interested in writing about. All of these are great areas to write. So today, I've been looking at the news this morning. Big story right now is Trump fired the head of the FBI, James Comey, which basically never happens. The head of the FBI is in power for about 10, I think they go on for 10 years. This is a huge story, right? This doesn't happen a lot. So if I go to Google Trends and I look, there it is, Donald Trump. There's a lot of stories here, okay? There's a lot going on right now in terms of Donald Trump. So if we go to trending queries, this is where we find our focus keywords, okay? James Comey. We could do Donald Trump, James Comey as a long tail keyword, for example, and have their names strung throughout the article in H1 tags, image alt tags, etc., right? Because these are so heavily searched, there is a lot of competition, but you're guaranteed to get more views on your articles because you're commenting on something that's really in the mainstream right now. We can go and look at this graph and see the interest over time, the interest at time of day, and the time per week. Now here's where things get really interesting. If you really want to pinpoint down a specific audience, a long tail keyword could be Donald Trump, James Comey, District of Columbia, because most of the searches are coming from the District of Colombia. Now, you may not get as many views because of this long tail keyword. You may get more engaged readers because you're more likely to get viewers from the District of Columbia who are inherently interested in this topic in general. But what I find even more interesting about Google Trends is not just looking at trends at the past 3 days. That's a lot to stay on top of, and frankly, it's extremely difficult to compete with the big news agencies who are on top of these stories faster than anyone else. So what we do is we go into the top bar here and we look up Donald Trump. And we see the long-term trends. And this is where we can get even more information about this. So you can see past 5 years. You can see 2004 when it was set up to present. And it has peaked, but now it's going back down. Into more detail, you can go past 7 days, which is my favorite at looking at things. This is amazing. This is amazing right here. See this uniform distribution right here? It shows you the time of day when these articles are searched the most and viewed the most. 4 a.m., because it's in America, most Americans are asleep. We go 6, we go 7, 8 o'clock p.m. So 8 o'clock a.m., yeah, still climbing. 8 o'clock p.m. This is when search terms for Donald Trump, search terms for politics and business, search terms for the entire internet peak. Alright, you will see this distribution for a lot of subjects, especially politics and economics. If you submitted an article to me and it was on Donald Trump, or it was on any keyword for that matter, I would look at the keyword and I would find what is the best time to post. And obviously, for something that deals with Donald Trump, 8 o'clock p.m. is the best time to post. Well, matter of fact, I would probably post it at about 6 p.m. so that when more people are on the internet, it's already in their inbox. So in terms of specifying on what topics to actually write about that will fit well in our website, we like to have a good mix of international affairs, so international politics, as well as finance and economics and the international economy. If you've ever studied these subjects in depth, you know that the studies of political science and economics are deeply intertwined, which is why I find it beneficial to our readers to know about both and how they interact with one another. We also don't discriminate against political bias. Whether you're far right or far left, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you aim to give an accurate representation on current events with as little bias as possible, as well as coming at situations from maybe a political standpoint, maybe an economics or finance standpoint. It's all accepted. So I think I've covered everything in the new writer guidelines. Basically, just have fun writing, try to engage in great discussion with people, try to connect with people. There's a huge platform of people out there that are interested in politics and economics and that are going to want to talk to you. There's a lot of people to meet and there's a lot of growth to be experienced here. When you're writing blog articles and posting them on the internet, you're not just fine-tuning your reading and writing skills, you're networking. You're creating an online presence. Whether you have your own blog that you post to and you want to gain more exposure, or you're just writing just for the fun of it, you're going to get more exposure by posting on the Global Millennial. And you're going to be engaged in more conversation on the internet than you ever have before. I'm really looking forward to having you a part of the team and seeing what you have to write. I'd like to thank you for showing interest in writing for the Global Millennial, and best of luck with your future writing. Do you feel the